It is Saturday, February 24th. My name is PJ. This is our membership live. Welcome. It's good to be here. It's good to be alive. It is good to be with you. We do this on some Saturday nights. That is, we go live with our membership group. I appreciate your patience as I have some other stuff going on in my life, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But we try to do this as often as we can. And we are going to get back on a regular schedule as soon as possible. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. Check out my folk music channel. That's Norspective. Also, if you're into newer country music, check me out at PJ on New Country. And of course, for classic country music, music from the very beginning to 1999 or so, you're in the right place for that. I react to classic country music on this channel mostly. Mostly, we have a caveat, I think it's called, or a disclaimer, perhaps. This is the point of the stream where Mr. H drops the intro.
Here we go.
You guys get the general gist. It's our membership live combined with PJ's Saturday Night Live. I have to get a hold of the folks in our graphic department to remedy that situation. Please forgive us all. My buddy is hanging out with me doing this membership live. He is a proud member of the PJ Rock YouTube family. He's also a great friend of mine. Mr. H is in the building. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you? Sorry about that. You know what? It's like I sent you a reminder to say, hey, be sure to do the intro before bringing me on. And then I'm not listening and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's introducing me.
That's why they call us professionals, man. We got this stuff down.
This is live, folks. This is not Memorex.
No. How many people would catch that reference, right? Live and not Memorex. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. You know what? I'm proud to say I'm back posting videos on my channel after being sick for about 3 or 4 weeks. And it was funny because during that time period when I wasn't posting, I would get like one, maybe two new members in a week's time. You know, it was like, and so I kept an eye on that. And then this week, as soon as it's like start posting, 20 new members.
Nice.
It's like consistency. They want consistency.
Absolutely. And what is it you're doing over there on DJ? No J, because he's not a G. What are you doing over there on your channel?
I'm basically, you've got the country wrapped up as far as I'm concerned. So I'm doing whatever is being requested. I had started off, as everybody knows, when you got me going with this, doing hip hop, like Tupac and stuff like that. Then did some pentatonics and then some other types of singers, who would, deep bass singers. But lately, I have a lot of requests for Tommy Johansson, Tom McDonald, a gentleman from Brazil named Dan Vasc, who's just, and Tommy and Dan are both metalheads and have great metal voices, being able to scream and all that. But they also have really good ballad type voices and stuff. And so they're doing, they do a lot of cover songs with like doing Queen and uh, uh, Phantom of the Opera, and it's just phenomenal. I am on a new trip, so these with these singers, and also I've got some of the viewers that are actually sending me suggestions for people over in Ireland, which is like good, get back to my old roots. That's good, because
You are
my
Black Irish, right?
yes, that's why I'm not an African American. I'm an Black Irish American.
It's all good. Black Irish Americans need love too.
Now, my father always explained the reason why we're Black Irish. Luckily, my grandfather was born, but it was either my great grandfather or my great great grandfather was hung up by the neck for stealing a horse, and that's why he referred to us as Black Irish. Because put a little black name, black mark on the name.
Wow, strung up for stealing a horse. I guess he
Yeah,
had somewhere to be.
yeah.
The man needed a horse.
Well, what he should have done is he should have bought the owner a beer or something like that. Say,
I
hey, can I
think
borrow it?
he should have called an Uber, is what I think. Call me
Right when
crazy.
they didn't have cars back then. That's funny.
No?
No, that's why you get hung for stealing a horse, because back then we're talking. I mean,
What do
we're
you mean
talking
they
over
didn't have any
100 years
Uber back
ago.
then? What do you mean they didn't have any Uber back then? What are you talking
1800s,
about?
man. 1800s. We're talking back in
No,
the
they
1800s.
had to have Uber. They had to have Uber. Listen, holding down the fort with us, representing the membership, is the jewel of the PJ Rock family. Nicole Jewell is in the building because she be shining, Mr. H, like a what?
Like a diamond.
Like a diamond all the time. How are you, Nicole?
I'm good.
Is your last name Kidman?
No,
You sure?
I'm sure.
Nicole Kidman. Does that name ring a bell to you, Nicole?
Yes, it does.
Wasn't she married to Bo from the Dukes of Hazzard?
No, Keith Urban.
Ah, and also Tom Cruise, right? Was she married to Tom Cruise?
Yeah, she was. She was for a short period of time.
Yeah, yeah.
But Keith Urban, I didn't know she was married to Keith Urban.
I did hear that.
Hmm.
Is that currently or is that a past marriage?
Currently.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You know who told me about that? My favorite Buckeye. Yeah, apparently there's a whole story about those two, getting together and that kind of thing. Tonka Bean Pumpkin has made an appearance. And as you guys
Love
know,
that.
that YouTube handle is a candle scent. Very, very clever, Buckeye. Very clever. Back to the jewel of this channel. How are you? What's new? What is going on with you, Nicole?
Nothing much, really. Just got done talking with Anessa, seeing how she was doing because she was just getting over a cold and
Mm.
it went around her whole house, basically.
So that's the Anessa that will not come on and show her face because
Yeah.
Do the
it's just-
voice.
because she ain't into that kind of thing. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here representing the membership. I say, Mr. H, we head on over to the chat, acknowledge the good people who are joining us, and see what is on their mind. Tonka Bean Pumpkin is in the building. Hi back, Tonka Bean. Good to have you aboard.
Yep.
Oh my God, her car got stolen. Did you see?
That's not
Oh,
good at all.
how the heck did that happen? Well, Baltimore. All right. So, other than that, did you leave the car open? We need a story. We need the rest of the story. Robin, my only friend in Utah, is in the building. Robin lives in what may be considered the smallest town on the West Coast. That's me telling you that, so take that with a grain of salt, Mr. H.
Yeah.
Robin is in the building. So it looks like, and guess what? You know what's so cool about Robin and Buckeye being here?
What's that?
Originals,
Oh yeah.
OGs, right?
Lori's in
Remember
the
back in
building.
those days?
Lori's one
Yeah.
of your Lori's one of your OGs too.
Lori is in the building. Look, Lori, are you finally over that long COVID? Please tell me you are. She's been battling with that for some time. I'm hoping you're feeling stronger and feeling better. Um, Lori, hope you're well. And as you know, you can jump on anytime. Listen, this is our membership forum. We get together, we hang out. Um, it's supposed to be every other Saturday and Wednesday. As you guys know, life has happened and we have not been as consistent as we've been in the past. I do appreciate your patience. And since we're talking about that, I just want to give a really quick update, Mr. H, on they stole her car. Can you believe that?
Well,
Jesus Christ.
as she says it, the MFer stole it. And I'm not laughing that it got stolen, but that's a good description of who stole it.
Well, yeah, she termed them the right MFing thing. Absolutely. Unfortunately, Robin won't be here in a couple of weeks because, finances. She's got to rework her stuff. Robin, we understand. We completely understand. I know you'll be up in the comments, and it's all good. And when you're ready to come back, you have a reserved seat on the board. So we are here. Lori's finally over that COVID situation.
That's good to hear.
Oh, Lori, you are welcome anytime. You just, again, this is the membership stream. This is all about you guys and what you want to talk about, what you want to listen to. This is the members get together. And we certainly do not want to get away from that. I am so bummed about Carolyn's car. That is crazy.
Yeah. And
When
by the
did
way,
that
Lori, yes,
happen?
you can come on. Sorry, PJ, for interrupting here. You can come on. Just go ahead. I put the link for the live on StreamYard here. So just anybody, just click on the link in the chat on YouTube. It should allow you to go ahead and join us. Yeah, that sucks. I'm telling you. That just absolutely sucks about the car.
I mean, so it's what? It's like 8:15 East Coast time. So did
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
happen last night? Did it just happen? I mean, that's just bummer. Bummer. My son had to listen to me yelling, cussing, and sobbing at first. Now just depressed. Oh boy. Well, if I know Buckeye, she has insurance, and I mean, it sucks. Obviously,
Oh yeah.
It's just it's insurance aside and everything. It's a violation. It's almost like a or like
it
a
is a
rape.
violation.
It's
It
an
is a
assault.
violation.
It's an
Yeah,
assault.
it's unfortunate. So too bad. That really, really does suck. Well, again, I want to re-emphasize that when we do our membership lives on Saturdays and Wednesdays, when we do them, it is about you guys. So I want to
Yeah.
make sure that everybody knows that if you have a request, that you want me to do live, Mr. H is going to put up an email that you can send those requests to. We've narrowed it down to one email. It's less confusing and it just kind of makes things run a little bit smoother on our end. So if you have any request, please send them to the email running across the bottom of the screen. We'll get them, and your requests are going to be done in the order they come in. Okay. Even if they come in on the same day, we'll look at the timestamp. And that's just an effort to, keep ourselves accountable and to make sure that, we're doing what these streams are set up to do. And they're set up to give you and us an opportunity to interact with each other. And yes, do some live reactions. Right, Mr. H?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, by the way, hey, PJ, you want to go ahead and share with them, like for tonight, the rule as far as how many videos you're going to do tonight and stuff like that. So
Absolutely. So, I love reacting, right? That's kind of what I do. However, for me, when it gets past 4 or 5, I mean, watching videos intently and coming up with something, that makes sense to say about it really takes some effort. If it didn't, everybody and their mama would be doing it, right? So I think I've kind of narrowed it down, right? I think to give my best effort and to give you a good quality reaction, I've narrowed it down to 4 videos per live. Okay. I don't want to sit here, I don't want to mail it in. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be so tired and mentally, strained trying to come up with stuff to say. So we're going to narrow it down to 4. At times, we're going to throw a bonus one out there and do 5. But we're no longer going to do marathon reactions like 12.
Yeah. Well, it gets so into it that you've gotten to like 7 or 8, and you're thinking, okay, so how many was that? 4 or 5? And it's like, no, actually, it's a lot more.
We've done 10.
It's now all start and run into one another, and you're just like, you're exhausted,
Yeah, it's all good. So, please send your reaction request to gjnojreacts@yahoo.com. We'll get those requests and we'll get them done ASAP. And again, let me stress that the membership lives are exactly that. It's for each and every one of you to interact with me here on the channel. I don't want us to get away from that. So, Mr. H, we have a lineup of 4 songs that we're going to do today. What are they?
Well, in no particular order, I think the first one was Daryl Worley, Have You Forgotten?
Daryl Worley, Have You Forgotten?
And I believe that Nicole was that yours?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Then the next one is Everybody's Dancing, Room Full of Roses. And that is a request from Tallest Mountain. And then I believe this next one was a request from Anessa Lynn. If she's online, she can correct me if I'm wrong. It's Reba McEntire.
Is that the Anessa that heads up the West Virginia branch of the DJ PJ Rock fan club? Is that the Anessa you're talking about?
Well, it is,
Okay,
because it's the only Anessa Lynn I'm aware of.
I'm just making sure. I just want to give her props. Yeah. The one with the cat in the microwave?
Washer.
Oh, it was a
Possibly.
washing machine. Okay, my bad.
And
Yeah.
then actually you had a request because you were talking about how Beyonce's new song has really hit the charts and
causing
stuff. So
causing some controversy. We got to get into some of that tonight. We got to get into a little bit of controversy. It's all good. We'll keep it friendly. We'll keep it friendly,
but
Nicole.
it's a new video. It's the same song, but it's a new video.
It's her official
that
video.
actually, yeah, it's her. I believe it's her official video that we'll actually be watching, and of course that's Beyonce's Texas Hold'em. And I'm trying to remember correctly who sent this in. I believe it was Anessa Lynn. Gonna miss you, old friend. And it was from Cletus T. Judd, a tribute for Toby Keith.
Totally.
Yes,
stuff.
that was Anessa.
And okay. And then if we have time, I'll be clicking on one of the other, unless we get somebody else, I'll be playing one more of Nicole's and stuff like that, depending on how you're feeling and stuff like that. So that's what I have for the lineup right now. No, folks, I don't have any requests. This is not my show. This is PJ's show.
Although you are a member and you can request.
All right. Am I pointing at you now, or is this?
No,
pointing
you're
at you?
not.
No.
Now. Nope.
You're pointing
So
at the time
Okay,
right now.
I gotta make sure
Nope.
I point away from
Nope.
you so that I'm pointing at you.
The opposite. Yep. So let me do this. Let me just give folks an update on my health situation, as there, has been some movement, and some of you have inquired as to what's going on. So just let me briefly, bring you guys up to speed. So as you guys know, I was diagnosed with colon cancer back on the 1st of February. Yeah, so that was boom. I got the news and I was in a daze for the next 2 weeks. I was functioning, but I was just, everything was kind of hazy. Trying to go about business as usual with that that knowledge that I do have that diagnosis. Yeah, I was for a couple of weeks there, I was out of it. Really foggy, really emotional. I would have, days where I would break down and that kind of thing. So that happened. So after the diagnosis, I went and got an initial CT scan, which is protocol, right? The report from the CT scan said that there was no sign of metastasis, which is the spread of the disease, which was good. The new thing is on Thursday, this past Thursday, I traveled to San Diego, to the University of California at San Diego, to meet with my surgeon, for the very first time. We had that, you guys have had surgery, you have that meeting. They talk about what's going to happen before, what's going to happen during, and what the recovery is going to be like, so on and so forth. So I did meet with the surgeon and her team. That went really well. I clicked with her right away. She's probably a woman of probably a little younger than me. She seems like she's around 45, not like that matters or anything, but we clicked. I believe I'm in good hands with her. That went well. So the next step is she took a look at the scan that I had done, the initial CT scan, and said, you know what? Let's do some more scans. And I'm like, more scans? Why? She's like, well, Your scans are fine, but they only did an abdominal scan, and I would like to look at your chest area, your liver area very closely. Um, and I also want you to have a PET scan. I had heard the term PET scan before. Didn't know exactly what it was, but essentially the PET scan scans your body looking for cancer, right? Your entire body. So, next step is for me to have another CT scan and a PET scan, which will give the surgeon a clearer view of what the current status is inside of old PJ. She's doing her due diligence, and obviously, I like that. That stuff should happen within this coming week, I'm hoping. We're targeting around mid March for the surgery. Here's what's interesting about the surgery. She said, so we're going to do a robotic surgery. We're going to use the robot to do your surgery. And I was like, yes. You know, I was working in the operating room when the Da Vinci robot came out. H and I have some experience working in the healthcare field. And we happened to be working in the healthcare field at the time that the new robotics stuff came out and the introduction of robots or robotics in surgery. And so I'm very familiar with the instrumentation, training people on those kinds of systems and that sort of thing. I digress. So I was very thrilled when she mentioned that we were going to be using the Da Vinci robot to do my surgery. I don't want to bore you guys with this, but if you have any questions about the robot, how that works, or whatever, feel free. If you have any questions about my situation and what's going on with me, I don't mind sharing. It's all good. Please don't hesitate to ask. I won't be offended. So that's where I'm at. Almost to surgery, but not quite there. We're going to get these scans done hopefully this week and get in there and get cut on by Mr. Robot on or around the 15th of March or so. And so that's what's going on with me. I feel good. I do have days when I am tired, which is unusual for me, but she said that's to be expected. So every time I have an ache or a pain somewhere in my chest or in my back, I'm just freaked out. I'm like, oh, no, no. And of course, I mean, a very human thing, right? It's spread to my big toe. No. I'm doing well. I'm good. That's the update. Hopefully, surgery in mid-March. Get this thing out of me. So again, please feel free if you have any questions. I am an open book. Mr. H?
Well, you know what? Like you were saying, PJ, you and I, we can describe Da Vinci robotic instrumentation, surgery. You and I are actually classified as an infection preventionist / sterilization specialist, instrument specialist when it comes to the OR operating room and stuff like that. We've been in the industry. I've been in the medical industry actually since '84, and you started work sometime in the late '80s or early '90s.
Early '90s. Early '90s.
Early '90s and stuff. So we've been in it for a long time, and we know quite a bit about it. You know, if they had a category on Jeopardy for, you know, and all the categories were something medical, I think you and I could go on there and really rake in some money.
500, Alex, for medical instruments.
Yeah. What is the Da Vinci robot? What is, you know?
Right. Nicole, you have any questions for me about my new friend growing inside me?
No, not really. I had to deal with it with my dad. You know, he had it and he ended up with stage 4. So
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the hardest one, stage 4. And
yeah. Well, that's when they get that that's it. It's like pack up, get ready for, to go home,
Well, H, so
good.
much has happened in cancer research
Absolutely.
within, yeah, within a relatively short period of time. I mean, there are a lot of really smart and dedicated people out there working on this stuff day in and day out. And they've come a long, long way. It is not, I mean, it's not the rule, but it is not uncommon for people with stage 4 disease to make a recovery. I mean, it happens. I'm hoping I'm not there.
Yeah, but we didn't find my dad's in time, and
Late.
he
It
ended
was
up,
late.
Yeah.
yeah. And so he ended up in hospice, and then, well, first thing, I mean, we knew he was losing it because he started off seeing Johnny Cash.
Mhm.
And then he said he saw his dead brothers standing
Yep.
there and they were holding a casket, and he asked who that casket was for.
Yep.
So we knew he didn't have much longer after that. And I mean, some points, while he was in hospice, he was funny because he was trying to say he wanted to go home. My older sister, that is, said, "You're not going anywhere." He said, "I am too, wearing underwear." And she said, "I didn't say anything about your underwear. I said, you're not going anywhere."
Right.
And he said, "I said, I am too, wearing underwear. Want to see?" She said, "No, I do not want to see your underwear, Dad." And I mean, he had us cracking up, and then he was seeing invisible animals
Yeah.
running around the room. And
Yeah.
we said, "Well, we'll just shut the door so they don't get out." He said, "No, they'll bite." And we're like, "Okay, well, we did." And we couldn't step anywhere. We'll step on them.
Yeah.
We had to
Yeah.
play along. We didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I can tell you, my mother back in 2005 was diagnosed, and she ended up dying of lung cancer. But one of the treatments, because of the pain, uh, she would get the pot pills, as the THC pills and stuff like that to control her pain. And the funny thing was, she took one, either that or my sister had her smoke a joint. But one way or another, she was high. And I remember sitting there in the chair watching her. My nephew was sitting on the bed right next to her, and she's looking at my nephew, and she's like, "My God, you are good looking." She goes, "If I was younger, I would hit that." And and my nephew was like, "Grandma," and she's like, "No, no, nothing. No, it just, damn, you are good looking." It was like, all right, let's cut her off. We no more drugs.
You know the story that Nicole tells about her dad hallucinating, and by the way, that stuff is pretty common, right? I had a
Yeah.
dear friend of mine, an old Navy buddy of mine. Matter of fact, he was the first person I ever knew to own a Prius. He had the first Prius that ever came out. Little ugly thing. Um, uh, really good guy. Um, he did 15 years in the Navy. At the time, they were offering early retirements. They were trying to get people out at the time, and he took them up on it and retired after 15 years, and was just living
That's
his life.
amazing.
Yeah, and ended up with stage 4 colon cancer that had spread throughout, his body. He didn't live long after that, but her story reminds me of him talking about seeing angels, and kids bringing him fruit, birds, and it was all like very calming stuff, and I'm glad he was seeing that kind of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
and we knew, well, I mean, he was he was going to transition, but it's really interesting what happens towards the end. But enough for that gloom and doom and stuff. Ain't nobody going nowhere.
You want to
Okay.
hear a funny story about my dad that's
Yeah.
not cancer related? I'll tell you one. One night he went out to the bar. He was drunk as could be. My mom went and picked him up. Okay. He's in the passenger seat. He swore up and down, he told my mom, I can drive home. I'm fine. I'm fine. We said, okay. My mom walks in the house. My dad's still sitting in the passenger seat. The keys are in the ignition. He's got the radio playing. He reaches over, turns the car off, walks in the house, tosses the keys to my mom, says, see, I told you I could drive home.
That's a little too much to drink.
We're like, okay.
Little too much. Tell me you haven't been there, H.
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
we all just looked at
That's
each
so
other
funny.
and said, okay, yeah, you drove home, Dad. Yeah, you drove home in the passenger seat.
And
Sure,
you did
okay.
a fine job, Dad. Fine job.
Charles is sitting there, trying not to laugh. That's my husband, by the way, and Charles,
Right.
and we were all trying to keep in our laughter. We held it in till he left the room, and then we all busted out laughing. Like, yeah, he really drove home.
Wow, that is too funny. Well, the plan is I hope to be sticking around for some time.
Hopefully, no stories like that. You supposedly driving home in the passenger seat.
Well,
He'll be driving home from the trunk.
Right, from the trunk. Anywho, that is my cancer update. That is what's happening. Let's lighten things up a bit, Mr. H. Let's do some country music reactions.
All right. Before we do that, first of all, folks, in the chat is the link to join us live, because at this time we're having to switch over to just StreamYard, so that way YouTube doesn't kick us off. But before that, we have another person in the room, Miss Lori. So you'll excuse me, let me switch. Let's see if this does it. There we go.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yep, it sure is.
How are you, Lori?
I'm doing good. I'm hoping you get a good report from your scans, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
Because I will be well.
When she said we're gonna need some more scans, I was like, what does that mean? Because I got the news. Okay, so your scan looked good. I read the report. It was like, we don't see any evidence of disease. And so, I'm in there thinking, what do you mean they didn't scan enough? And then what are they going to find with these chest scans? And it's like, okay, PJ, take a couple of deep breaths. And I mean,
well, I want them to scan your brain. I want to see if you have one.
That him or you?
Huh?
Well, either way will work.
Was after you or him?
Your jewel is sticking up for you. She's saying I'm the one not without a brain. Good job. Good job.
I'm pretty sure, H, that I would have at least a quarter of my brain left with all the pot I've smoked.
No doubt.
At least a quarter. At least a quarter left. But yeah, Lori, I'm hoping for some good clean scans. But it's a process, and I've learned that I just have to, what's funny is I had no idea that there were videos on YouTube about people's cancer journey. And I started watching those videos. And obviously, some people survive their journey and they live to talk about it. They vlogged it all the way through. I've watched a few of those all the way through. And oops, we lost Lori. And then there are people who come out on the side I hope to come out on, and they live to, wrap it up and say, hey, I'm cancer free. You know, I've had my last scan. It's been 3 years. I think it's 3 years or something like that when you can say, you know, you're cancer free.
Right.
And I sure hope to be on that side of things, you know?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
trying to stay positive. And when that pain hits me, it's like it reminds me, you know, it is what it is. It's a process, though. I'm right smack dab in the middle of it, and you know, hoping for the best. And I appreciate all of the prayers and all of the well wishes. D Rice is in the building. Um, Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. I mean, some of you guys know people that have been through this stuff, and we all know someone that has fought this battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So
Um,
just to let you know, PJ, we got Robin who's listening in. She's live with us. She's on mute, but she's just wanted to say she's just trying to be here for the reactions. She's not trying to go live. So, but
Sure.
she's there. So anytime she wants to chime in, Robin, all you got to do is turn on your mic, and we'll be able to hear you. Lori's back, and we have Carolyn in the house, although we don't have a video.
you know, she can turn on the video whenever she wants to. You know how she is about her hair and stuff. That's fine. It's fine. I don't know. Maybe the handyman was over and they were working on stuff. I mean, you know, things
Here
happen.
she is.
That's what I
Hey,
need.
Carolyn.
I need a handyman.
Well, don't look at me because I've got 5 thumbs on each hand.
How are you, Carolyn?
I didn't even mean to come on here. All I was trying to do was do the StreamYard thing so I could chat in StreamYard.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're here, and I want to say I have missed you, and it's good to have you here.
Well, you're sweet. I missed you guys too.
The whole car thing, it just
That sucks.
Man, I didn't have my car for a month because it was in the body shop. And that's a whole other story. My dear son tried to move it for me. Never mind all that, but it was in the body shop. And I just got it back yesterday from the body shop after 4 weeks without it.
wow.
Went grocery shopping, bought a bunch of groceries, came home yesterday afternoon, parked it in the alley, carried a bunch of groceries in. This evening, asked my son to go out and get one last thing that was in the car that I hadn't brought in. It was a case of seltzer. Mm-hmm. And he went out there, and I have a privacy fence, so I couldn't see him. I was like, what's taking him so long? Like he's gone too long just to get this seltzer out of the car. It turned out he couldn't find my car. And I was like, it's right there. It was right behind your little car.
What do you mean you can't find my car?
Yeah, what are you talking about? You can't find my car. And he said, is yours the Toyota? And I said, no, it's the Hyundai. Of course, it's a Hyundai, which is what they're stealing, right? So as soon as he said there's nothing there in that space, I'm sure the neighbors heard me yelling from my porch. I was like, no, no, no. And then I used some very bad language. I went out there. I was like, I'm out in the alley saying, the effer stole my car. And then I came in. Yeah, and then I came in and I was crying and crying and crying. And then
I imagine. Oh, my goodness.
I called the police.
Just after getting it back from the body shop and it gets stolen.
I just got it back. I was so happy
horrible.
Just to be able to go shopping because my son has been doing shopping for me and he's great. He's good, you know, but like I asked for him to bring a steak and he brings a roast, you know, that kind of thing. Like he's very sweet. He's
selective here.
Well, if you cut it right, you got a bunch of steaks.
It's true. I said I said, actually, this is good. This will make like a bunch of meals for us, right? But so definitely bummed. And Yeah, and then I had all this stuff I was going to do with my car, stuff to go to Goodwill, stuff to go to here and there. I was going to get a haircut. But anyway, it's all, as I said, I made a comment that it's better, than being carjacked.
Oh yeah.
That is
Well, that's
absolutely.
one way to look at it.
I'd rather have them take it in the middle of the night than carjack me. So
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Robin.
Carolyn,
Hey, I actually got the haircut. It's not combed because I've been laying down all day because I got the shingles shot yesterday. And did somebody get the license plate of that truck?
Oh wow.
what'd you say, Robin?
I got the shingles shot yesterday.
Oh,
And like I said, it's the second one. You have to have 2 of them. And I don't want the shingles. This is better than having the shingles. But did somebody get the license plate of that darn truck?
Oh, imagine.
oh,
Yeah.
the one that ran over you?
Yeah. Like I said, I've been laying down most of the day. I don't know how long I'll last tonight, but I wanted to pop on and say hi before I ran out of membership. So, and Carolyn, I think your language has been very mild considering what happened.
You didn't
You'd be hearing a lot of more than what you've said from
you
me.
didn't hear all my real language that my poor son had to listen to as I was.
I can imagine. I know it
Yeah,
all.
I was
I have
really,
since I was 6
really
years old.
upset.
Thank you.
I love that car, and when they normally when they do this, they don't care how they first they tear the steering column up,
Yeah.
they tear the ignition all up, and then a lot of times they don't care how they drive it, and a lot of times it's kids.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I've had a car or two get stolen too in the past. So it's
Did you
and for some reason
really?
they like to vandalize. I had one where it was considered total because they took a razor blade to the airbag on the steering wheel. And so the insurance company says, yeah, we're not going to replace that. We're just totaling out the car. It's just cheaper for us to total it. Gave me the cash. It was actually my wife's car, and so we ended up getting her a new car.
well, mine's a 2013, so if they total it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I understand if you drive a standard transmission, you foil the thieves. Most people today can't. And my car's 24 years old, 25 years old this year. I don't think anybody's going to be taking it anytime soon.
No, they can't even.
Come out.
No, they can't. They can't drive. They can't drive the standard transmissions.
Yeah. That's what I understand. A friend of mine keeps getting them specifically for that reason.
Well, if I have to get another car, and see, I'm mad at myself because I should have gone to the dealer and had this special thing done to the Hyundais, which was free. They put a special like anti-theft thing in it, which most cars have. The reason the Hyundais and the Kias are targeted is because they don't have that within a certain range of years that my car fits into.
Right.
They don't have that anti-theft device thing. So I was dumb. I didn't get down there to the dealer. But yeah, I love my Hyundai. I love it to pieces. But if I have to get another car, I guess I'll get a Ford or something.
Wow. So, hey, just a reminder, folks, we've got 4 people viewing. One of you is in StreamYard watching live. The three that are not, that you're still on YouTube, please, in the chat box is the link to our StreamYard. As soon as PJ, I think PJ had to use the restroom or something like that. As soon as he comes back, we are switching over to StreamYard only. We will be ending the live broadcast on YouTube. And so if you're wanting to follow us over, please do, so that way you can watch PJ's reaction. So Lori, you had Mr. Snugglebug with you there, the dog.
Yeah, that's Puggy.
Yeah, I saw his little face. So cute.
So Yeah, he's sitting here on the foot of the chair thinking he's Mr. It.
Yeah, I told you I have a pug and Maltese mix.
Oh, you do? How is that? How's it look?
It looks pretty much like a pug. I mean, he's got the pug face and everything, and he's so
Yeah.
tiny. And
Oh, well, he's the second pug I've had. We had a little girl pug for 13 years, and her name was Fancy. And she was a dumb blonde. You could ask her something, and she'd just show you her teeth and just look at you like, "Are you dumb?" But yeah, she was a sweetheart.
yeah, we got the run of the bunch of our, when we got this one.
Yeah.
He'll actually take and eat one piece of food out of his bowl at a time, and because he's
Oh.
afraid to eat his food.
Thank you,
That's
Puggy.
funny. Well, I had growing up, I had a dog that was really dumb. It was a cockapoo, and his name was Walter. And that dog, it was just, I was like, oh my goodness, how are you still breathing? That dog was really dumb. I mean, I had him checked out to see if he was blind or something, and they're like, no, he can see fine. And I'm like, well, then why does he turn around and like run right into a wall and stuff like that? It was just like, oh Lordy.
We had my childhood dog was a Dalmatian, and he was wonderful, and he was really smart. He was kind of an elegant dog, kind of sleek and very, very affectionate, and the whole neighborhood loved him.
Yeah.
And very, very sadly, he got hit by a car, and he didn't make it. But
sorry to hear that. Wow.
Yeah, it was it tore our family up, and the whole neighborhood was kind of torn up. But he was Duke of Delmwood. But my dad, after a while, my dad kind of tried to replace him. He got another Dalmatian that was we had raised Duke from a little puppy. Got him at a breeder who lived out in the country. But my dad got a Dalmatian that was already grown. I can't remember what we called that dog. He was so sweet, but he was clumsy, and he wanted to please us. As you could tell, he wanted to do the right thing, and he was always knocking things over and bumping into things, and it wasn't Duke. It wasn't Duke at all. Not the same personality. He was a Dalmatian, but it wasn't the same personality, not the same build. He was kind of a chunkier dog than Duke was. And I'll think of his name one of these days. But he wound up going to another family because it wasn't Duke number 2 that my dad really wanted,
Yeah, it's hard to find them. I just like I said last year, I just let me get them in the shot here. You see in the picture right over here.
Your kitty.
That was my Christmas present. My daughter and her boyfriend got my cat Shy in a picture. It's like a general uniform, and I miss him terribly. But I adopted him 3 years ago. He was 17 when I adopted him, 20 when he died. Best adoption I ever did. He was the sweetest cat. Every time I'd come home, I'd sit in my recliner. He'd wake up almost within 2 minutes, oh, you're home. And he'd walk over and he'd sit on my chest. And that's where he stayed for the rest of the day and night. So, and if I had to go up and use the facilities or something like that, put him down. He's like, okay, I go use the restroom, come back, and he'd jump right back and get right back there. He's like, nope, that's my spot.
So do you have another kitty now, H, or are you planning to get?
We do. It's we have, her name is Mimi. She's kind of like a Siamese. It's my wife's cat. And she is cute as a button. She's 2 years old now, and she's also a cutie. She absolutely loves everyone and stuff. So All right, Randy, I tried to bring you on if you wanted to say something, but I guess you're watching and you're staying off stage. That's fine. If you ever want to come on and be able to say something, just you should be able to put something in the private chat, and I'll be able to bring you on. Good to see you. Let's see here. We have 2 people that now we just have the 3 people watching live, I guess, still or 2 from YouTube. You got to switch over to the link that's in the window that's in the chat and stuff. So anyway, something there. I said it. Okay. So Randy, I'm going to bring you back on. Does that mean you want to say something?
H, I sent you a picture of my dog if you want to share it so everybody can see what he
Already.
looks like.
I was going to say, where did I put my phone?
Nothing.
All right. Still wondering where PJ's at. It's like I'm gonna have to text him, find out what's going on there. Did you send it via email?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I was looking at my phone. Let's see here. Oh. Come on. There you go. Download. All right. Let's. That is a cutie. Here we go. Let's share screen. Window. Did that? Nope, it did not. So let me put that in window number 2. That's fine.
I'm always trying to share. Well, before my son and daughter-in-law live with me now, which I love. I love it. But before we would Skype, and I was always trying to share screens with my son, and it really took me a while to get the hang of it.
Carolyn, I'm back. I'm glad you're back with us.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, dear. Thank you, dear.
All right, what is going on? It doesn't.
Yeah, Lori, it was just a temporary breakdown. You know, you make an ass of yourself online, you just disappear for a while.
Well, we can understand. I'm just glad you came back.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put Nicole in charge right now. I've got to log off, log back in. It's not allowing me to share windows and stuff like that. So hold on. I will be right back.
That a threat or a promise?
It's just us ladies. What do you want to talk about? So, Jewel, you are so close to me, you know.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to Richie Fields?
Oh, shoot. I said I would, and then I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't I? What song was I supposed to listen to?
Any of them. I mean, he's from your area. He's right. Well, actually, he was born here in Ocean City, you know, right where I'm near.
Yeah.
But now he lives in Baltimore.
Okay. I will have to listen to him, and I promise. Look, I'm going to write it down. See, I got my pen? Because I forget everything, you know, like I'm old.
Because when they told me you were coming back, I was like, no, I'll never know she listened to him. Because he's an amazing artist. I've seen him many times. I became friends with him on MySpace, and then I went to see him so many times that he considered me part of the band. And one song that he dedicated to me and my husband all the time was I Don't Think You're Pretty. Everybody gets thrown off by the title. It is a very pretty song. Don't let it fool you. The title, you know.
I know it's one of those songs that is saying the opposite thing from.
Yeah, it
what
says
the
I
title
don't think you're
indicates, right?
pretty. You're
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It is a very pretty song.
Here we go.
His first single was "Man Enough to Cry."
Oh.
That's my doggy. That's Rocky.
I've seen Rocky before. Haven't you seen Rocky?
Cute.
He is precious.
He is.
Yo, Adrian.
Quit, Puggy. Quit.
disconnect. I don't want to be on that. Why is it? Ah. I am having technical difficulty. My phone decided to take over as my camera. It's like. Tonight's going to be a good night, folks. All right. So let's see. Stop that. We'll go ahead and close that. I'm calling PJ, see what's going on. So.
Robin.
All righty. Trying to FaceTime PJ. Let's see. Okay. Call back later, I guess. All right. Let's see how many people have switched over to now we only got one person. Yeah, still have one person in StreamYard.
Randy, that's funny.
All right. So, Randy, you got an original joke here. It says, if our two primal fears are public speaking and dying, then delivering your own eulogy has to be the worst. That is a good one. You know what? I've actually thought of pre-recording my own eulogy and songs that I want sung, and sing my own songs for the funeral and everything. And you know, I saw somebody, I guess, who had in their casket, they had a recording. So during the funeral, so I guess somebody was supposed to click a remote. They clicked it on, and it sounded like, you know, hey guys, let me out of here. It's dark in here.
Oh no!
You know, and it sounded like somebody knocking and stuff. I'm serious. I'm still alive. Everybody was cracking up and everything.
I
Sounds almost kind of like you've never probably seen it, but Ray Stevens sitting up with the dead.
That is a funny video.
Yes, it is.
haven't seen that. We'll have to put that on the Ray Stevens list.
Nicole.
H.
You had to say Ray. Oh, you had to say his name, didn't you?
H.
Yes, I did.
Please pass me that bottle, would you please?
By the way, so last week I finished off the last one, so I opened up a new bottle tonight for tonight's show. So
How many times do you think I'm going to say the names tonight? Come on now, give me a break.
And maybe I'll just pretend I'm deaf and stuff like that. So,
Um,
all right,
no,
folks.
H,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not reading Robin's comment then. I'll keep my mouth shut on that.
Let's see here.
you know, when I was married, my family, I'm an only child and all that, all that jazz, and my parents passed away like over 30 years ago. But when I was married, so most of my family, what I considered my family, was actually my husband's brother's wife's family. Because my husband, it was just him and his brother, and so her family, I mean, she had all the cousins and aunts and uncles and everybody. So when we had the Thanksgiving and Christmas get-togethers and all that, even Easter sometimes, it was her family.
Oh,
There was one member. Hi, cutie. There was one member of her
this is
family.
Precious.
Hi, Precious. His name was Bill. I liked him a lot. At all the get-togethers, we would just kind of gravitate to each other. He was a writer. He was a music critic. He was a musician. He did bluegrass, but he also did jazz. He told me, to my surprise, that he really considered himself a jazz musician first. Always thought of him as a bluegrass musician. But anyway, in very recent years, long after, like, I've been divorced for 25 years or more. And so in very recent years, like, we were all kind of estranged from that, estranged from each other. I got a call that Bill, very sadly, had passed away from pancreatic cancer. And he had specifically asked So I got this call out of the blue from my sister-in-law, from whom I'm estranged, right? But she said Bill had specifically asked that I be there at his sort of a funeral. It was more like a celebration of life kind of thing that they did. So I read his obituary, and his obituary was like, Bill didn't accomplish a lot in life, but he was happy just sitting on the porch, you know, picking his banjo, and it's all this. So the obituary was sort of like, you know, never accomplished much, you know, tried to be a good fellow, but really, you know, was just kind of a, you know, do nothing kind of guy. And you're reading this, you're thinking, what in the world? He wrote his own obituary, of course. He had a very dry sense of humor, right? So when I got down there to his celebration of life, his somebody was very quick to tell me, Bill wrote his own obituary. We didn't write that. I was like, okay.
My goodness. All right, let's see here. In the John, what's going on? Lots of echoes. I don't know. I'm not hearing any echoes. Anybody hearing echoes?
No.
Might have to disconnect and reconnect. Let's see what's going on. 2 people in StreamYard now, but we still got 4 over on YouTube. Still need you to switch over to StreamYard. We might not have to, because so far PJ has disappeared.
Did he fall asleep on us?
I don't know. His camera's off. His mic is off. I don't know what happened, and I can't reach him on the phone. So, interesting. So we're going to change up. I'm going to go ahead and go in and change it from PJ, you know, what's the name of it? What's this show called tonight? It's Saturday Night with PJ and Membership Live. I'm going to change it to DJ No J reacts with PJ's live members. So
Robin has the answer to the echoes, though, in case John didn't see it. Close YouTube down, or just if you turn the sound off on the YouTube side, that'll stop the echoes.
Yeah,
too.
well, it depends on if you're YouTube and. Well, he shouldn't. If he's on YouTube, he shouldn't be hearing an echo because he's not in our room. He's not on the mic.
If he's on StreamYard, he'll hear the echo from the YouTube. And
yeah. If you have YouTube,
it'll sound like an echo because there's a delay. It's
yeah.
Because YouTube is actually it's about a 10-second delay in the sound. I like this one, and I'm assuming this is to me. So Nessa is saying, for not being a DJ, you're getting a lot of practice. It sure seems that way. Howdy, folks. We're here. We're down at the car wash. That's an old Ray Stevens, the streak.
You're at the supermarket.
I had to say, down at the supermarket. All right.
I know my Ray Stevens stuff. Trust me, I've seen so many of his videos, but not as many as someone else's, whose name will not be mentioned.
The name that shall not be mentioned, who's having life difficulties with emails and YouTube and.
No, I'm talking about
I think I know who she's talking about. I think.
Depends. Starts with a J.
Oh, that name.
Oh, you talking about John?
I thought she was talking about TS.
TS or ST?
TS. Tay-Tay.
I don't like her. She knows I
I
don't
know.
like
I
her.
thought that was
Tia.
the name.
Oh, Taylor
I thought that
Swift.
was
That
the
took
name.
him a
so
minute.
you mentioned that.
I don't
You
like
were talking
her.
about somebody else, Mr. H.
Well, I was thinking she was talking about when Carolyn said TS. I thought she was talking about Scorpion Taz. So
Oh, yeah. Where is Scorpion Taz?
Scorpion's the one that had the Taz had issues with email was hacked.
Oh,
The YouTube channel was hacked. StreamYard lost access to StreamYard and everything. So, and what the sad thing was is I actually checked out one of her YouTube channels that has the farm sim reactions to it.
yeah.
Thank you, Anessa. So this show is brought to you by the letter A. Anyway, but yeah, so all of her content on her YouTube channel for FarmSim was deleted.
Oh
I went
no.
over to it. There was no content left on it. And I'm like, and whoever does, I don't care. If you like a person, don't like a person, don't hack them and do stuff like that. People like that, you need to fry in HE double toothpick. So. Alrighty, let's
If
see.
you know
here.
me, you know there's one other person I don't like besides the TS person.
Oh, the Tay Tay. We'll just say Tay Tay. How about that?
No, we'll call her TS. I don't
Who's
care.
who's the other
Okay,
person?
Well, it's a group.
Oh,
The chicks.
oh, them. Oh, yes.
I don't like them either.
Yeah.
And they got even worse on my list now because they let their fans attack Toby Keith after his death.
Oh, that's not
Oh.
good.
Yeah, and they're not saying nothing to the fans at all. They're just letting them attack him, and
That's bizarre.
What are they attacking him for? The guy was great. I mean,
because
it's
of the feud that happened between the chicks and him years ago, when
Years
he said,
ago.
and he put an end to the feud, and they're still going at it. I'm like,
that's because their fans must be liberal.
I'm like, you guys,
Yeah.
you need to put a stop to your fans, but they're not going to because they're too self-centered. So let's just say karma will come back and get them. That's all I got to say. And
Okay,
that's
so
putting it nicely.
real quick, we got John Davidson. He says, I was distracted for a while. What's going on? I'm still hearing nothing but echoes. So the question is, John, do you have StreamYard up and YouTube up? Is that the situation with, because I know that you'll be hearing us live or pretty fast on StreamYard, but YouTube there's about anywhere from a 5 to 10 second delay.
Yeah. John, you can either shut your YouTube down completely, like close that tab or window or whatever you've got, or if you just go to the YouTube and turn the
Just
sound
mute it.
off.
I was going to say, just mute it. Yeah.
Yeah, just mute it totally.
Yeah.
And then you won't hear it.
But if he's only on YouTube, then how is he going to hear us?
Yeah,
I mean, it's nice to you can look at this beautiful face
No,
and
he has
stuff.
to be on stream. No, he has to be on. He'll hear us on StreamYard.
Yeah, switch over to well, you can if he's on StreamYard again, the link at the bottom. Switch over to StreamYard, just close out YouTube altogether, and you should be fine. So, alrighty. I am, I'm starting to worry about PJ.
Yeah, where is
Yeah,
he?
me too.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay, and I can't unmute him, so that's unusual. So he may have lost connection, actually, of some sort.
Oh, hey, I meant to ask you where you are out there. Did you experience flooding and crazy water situations a little while back? You?
Oh no, where my house is, I'm out in what's called the Inland Empire, Riverside County, and a lot of our properties throughout the county are elevated, so
Okay.
we don't typically experience floods. and we have enough brush and plants on our hillsides that we don't experience the mudslides. LA, on the other hand, with all the excessive water and the floods, their hillsides, that when they have a landslide, it's usually because they had a fire, and so all the brush burnt off. And for some reason, I don't understand why they do not immediately replant. All they have to do is throw grass seed up on the hill, and so the roots, that would be enough to form some root structure and to make the ground more solid and stuff. But they don't do that.
Well, I was wondering about you specifically because I know you're out there somewhere, and it was really bad out there. Like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of places throughout LA. The freeways were flooded. The streets were flooded. Luckily, the only place as far into LA I had to go was Whittier, which was south of LA. So I didn't have the Tuesdays when I had to go there. I didn't experience any flooding. It was pretty good. But for the most part, my house, because I work from home for the most part, and my house actually is the highest point in the neighborhood. So I usually see, when I look around in my windows, I see all my neighbors' roofs and stuff like that. Just it's a superiority thing. I like to be elevated above.
Looking down on everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, that's as much money as I paid for that house, back in 2014. I deserve it. So Robin's saying she's still getting floods on Highway 6 from a fire a couple of years ago. And that did some serious damage. That sucks. So, well, there's not a lot. She's out in Utah, so it's not like there's a lot of brush anyway. And, I could be wrong, but isn't Utah mostly desert? Robin, you can put in and it just missed burning the town down. Wow. Well, thank God for that. So let me try PJ one more time. I don't know. Yeah.
Just play some jazz, Harry. I'm kidding. I know nobody here wants to hear jazz.
And we could do some. We could do some reactions that I've been needing to do. Like I said, we turn it into the Mr. H show. Wait a minute. Someone should watch Dwayne Johnson take on "You Ain't a Woman Enough to Take My Man." Interesting. And PJ's not here to say this, but Mr. Savage is in the house. Welcome, Savage. So you know what? Hey, let me bring up. I'm going to do some songs that I know that YouTube is not going to block us, so we don't have to switch over to StreamYard because I typically do the stuff that either allows it or. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me bring up my
Precious.
email or my list.
Precious wants camera time.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she? She thinks that she needs it more than I do.
My little kitty has sadly, she's become so much of a basement kitty since my son and daughter-in-law moved in. My daughter-in-law isn't here. She's in China actually right now visiting her parents, but can't wait for her to come back. But my little kitty is terrified of everybody but me. She's terrified of everybody but me. So she's become kind of a basement kitty. She stays down in the family room a lot, too much.
Yeah. Precious isn't one for people either. If she sees somebody new, she'll run and hide. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I live alone, and so it's me, her, and Puggy all the time. And
yeah.
The only thing is, I have to fight to keep her in the house. She likes to go outside and run the feral cats off.
Oh, is she an escape artist?
Yeah. But I made a mistake when we found her. I would take her outside. I'd hold her when I would take Puggy outside and walk him. And so she thought she needed to be outside too.
Yeah.
So if she can get out the door before I close it, she's out the door. But the good thing is she stays right around my apartment, so I don't have to chase her down the road.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to be polite with this. Where the hell were you?
It's a miracle.
It's a long story. I'm just glad you guys held it down.
Hey, we
Long
thought you
story.
fell asleep on us.
No, not at all. No.
What, did you have to make you have to make a run to the 7-Eleven, or
No.
what happened?
No, actually, so the storms a few weeks ago. Had
Yes.
some work done to the roof, and there's actually a group of guys here working on the roof and pulled me away. They needed me. I don't know if you can tell, but my hands are long story. I was dealing with the workers.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Could have gave us a head up where you were going,
Wasn't planned. There was not a good way to say, hold on, let me go talk to the roofers, H. I'm sorry. I knew you guys would hold it down.
I was FaceTiming you and nothing. It was like there's no. I'm
Phone
like,
is
what did
sitting
you
right
just
here.
drop
That's
dead?
why. My apologies. So Mike Savage made a.
This close
made an
for me
appearance.
doing a reaction for you.
You should have.
Yeah, we were getting
Sure.
ready. I forget
Sure.
about the time difference. So I'm thinking, like, when you said the roofers, I was like, in the middle of the night, they're working
No.
on your roof. Then I realized, no, it's not
They
true.
work 24/7. No, and out here we have concrete roofs for the most part.
Ooh.
And so it's just a whole different thing. Yeah, they have this, they call it LOSA. And what they use, so they have these pieces of foam they got to be about 18 inches thick, right? That they use for the insulation.
Right.
And this wire stuff. And then they pour concrete over all of that. Then they seal it.
Wow.
And you have to do that sealing like it depends on the product, every 3 years, every 5 years, just depend on the product. And so although those roofs are good, they're well insulated, there's some cons that come along with it. And we had a few leaks this past storm, and so these guys were up there handling business and they needed me, so I apologize. I'm back. I'm ready to react.
We're glad you're okay.
Goodness.
John's still hearing echoes.
Is it me?
No, he's
No,
been telling,
you haven't been
he's
on.
been
He's been
telling
hearing.
us. He's been telling us he's been hearing echoes. He said he's still hearing them.
Well, that's just all in his head.
We told him how to fix it, but he said that he won't be here much longer if he can't get rid of the echo.
H, take your medication like you're supposed to. All right?
Well, let me see.
Stop complaining about imaginary stuff. So,
Did you close
I'm going to
down
listen to
your-
YouTube for a little bit.
Carolyn, so you've done a police report.
Yep.
Okay. So did they come out, or how does that work?
They don't even come out. Apparently, they're like there's all this news about stolen cars here in Baltimore. So they're like an average of 17 cars a day stolen in Baltimore.
So they can't come out. This is impossible.
So no, so I called 911 and I was like, is this the right place to call to report a stolen car? And they said yes. So
Oh, God.
I told the lady, and then I got a call back with a police report number. So it's in the system. And when they find it, she sounded as if like they
will?
always find them.
Mm.
This lady, I mean, she was trying to lighten me up, she was making jokes and stuff.
Well, I guess it could have been worse. She could have been a complete,
No,
and
she was sweet. She was sweet. She said, well, at least you didn't find a bear on top of your car eating what did she say? Eating a catfish or something. Anyway, I was like, did that happen to you? And she said, no, I'm just waiting for somebody to call me with that story.
I mean, the
It
story.
it sounds almost like Cocaine Bear. They found. You guys heard that story? I'm sure.
I have not heard the cocaine. You have to tell that story.
I don't know about the Cocaine Bear.
No.
If it's a movie,
A movie?
there's a movie called Cocaine Bear.
What?
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that must be some Berlin, Germany stuff.
No. No. This is an actual story. These hikers, lost some cocaine in the woods. This bear found it. He was looking for something to eat, and lo and behold, this bear, yes, and got
The bear ate the cocaine, and what happened?
got high as could be. And I mean, they actually have, because the movie's nothing like what happened, but of course, they're gonna make it over dramatic.
Right.
And they have an exhibit for the bear now. They found the actual cocaine bear, have him in an exhibit. You can go check him out and everything.
Oh my God, not the cocaine bear.
So is this like a true story and they made a movie out of it?
Yes, it's a true story.
Okay.
It must have happened in California.
I can't remember where they said it.
Bears and cocaine, California.
It was a wild
All right.
story. If you ever heard of Mr. Ballin, check him out. He tells the exact story of what happened.
I want to check. I want the thorough story of cocaine and the bear. Mr. H, what's going on?
I want to share a quick video of a bear. And I don't know about you ladies, but I know that probably Mike Savage, John, PJ, and I, we can kind of relate to something like this. So here we go. Really no sound or something like that. So this bear is messing with this fence and stuff like that, pulling on something. And then all of a sudden, it's like just when he thinks he's got it, he's pulling.
No.
Hold on. Whack. That bear just got smacked right dab in the jiggly bits. And
Oh my.
bear's like, okay, I think I've recovered. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, no. This bear tries a couple of times to stand up, and it's just like, ain't going to happen.
At somebody's backyard. Oh my God.
We need an assembly member who knows our community. Joey
No way.
Bears are amazing. I'm sure I've seen so many videos of bears in people's backyard, swinging in a hammock, swimming in the pool.
Did you see the one where this kid's riding his bike and all of a sudden he turns the corner and there's a friggin' bear, this 8-9-year-old kid on his bike. And so luckily there's a neighbor coming out to his car and the neighbor's like freaking out. He's like, he grabs a trash can lid and he starts banging it. And luckily the bear takes off. And the kid is standing there frozen, just like, it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
So, anyways, Mike says, I know the feeling, dude.
I think every man has had that kind of situation happen to. For me, it was football. Yeah, helmet.
By the way, PJ. So, and Randy's, listening in, and so he's sending messages via the private chat, and he says, "Why does DJ start rubbing his nose when the subject of cocaine is broached?"
Well, that's
So
pretty
why
clear.
are you doing that?
Well, tell them why, and tell the truth. Remember, part of your recovery is being honest. So tell
Well,
the
he's
people.
asked. Well, Robin says, "Yeah, which DJ?" So
Not
are you
this
talking?
DJ.
Yeah. So yeah, Randy, are you talking about DJ PJ Rock? Or are you talking about the DJ No J?
No cocaine for me.
I
Had
wasn't
I
rubbing my nose.
was I a young man in the 1970s, I might have dabbled. I might have. But no,
When you were
no. It's
2
all,
years old?
if I were a teenager or in my 20 somethings in the 70s, I mean, what is it? What was it? What was that club, Buckeye in New York? Was it 54, 56?
Studio 54.
That's the one.
Studio
you know.
54.
I might now. H is pulling a PJ, by the way. Touche.
The wife is
Girl.
talking, so I just pulling myself off. So
Roger that. Yeah.
our cat is missing, so I have to do a search.
Oh no.
Missing?
No, she's somewhere in the house, and my wife
Whoa.
can't find her. The door's open. We didn't lock her in the room. Hold on a second.
Hopefully she's in the house. Lori, do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a pug
The one
and
cat.
a tortoise cat. Yeah.
I don't
She's
think
in
we've
the house.
seen the pug.
Maybe upstairs, but I'll.
Just a second, I'll show you.
Where's that pug? There.
I heard.
Pug.
Yeah.
Cute.
That is definitely a pug.
She's in the room.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
He is close to 10 years old. Yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful dog.
he was mama's dog.
Yeah. Oh, really? How old is he?
Yeah, my brother got him. He's almost 10.
Mm.
We got him in 2016, and he was 15 months old when we got him. And then when mama went in the nursing home, I kept him. And so he became mine, I guess.
Yep. He's at home.
But this week's been rough. It was mom's anniversary
Mm.
of her death. It was a year.
1
So-
year.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not very long.
Thursday was a year. No,
Pretty
and and I was her primary caregiver until she went in the nursing home in 2018.
Mm.
And it's been hard. So
It's really hard. I know when I lost my mom, it was like 2 years. I was just devastated.
Mhm.
Felt like she was my best friend. We even though we lived 500
Yeah.
miles apart, I would call her on the phone every day. And we would just talk about like girl stuff, like what fabric we were going to put on the sofa cushions and what TV show we were watching, and we just talk every day. But it was after about 2 years, I remember I just woke up one morning and I got up and I was like, I feel normal.
Mm.
Like I feel normal again. But it was,
well, I would have
it
been
took
in the
us a
bed
couple
with
of years,
the
and for some people it's a
covers
lot
over my
longer.
head. I would have been in the bed with the covers over my head this whole year if it hadn't been for going back to work at the library.
Mm. Mm.
I didn't know you worked at a library. No, wait. Yes, you told us that.
She's a librarian. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I started work on Monday, and Mama died on Wednesday.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
of the week that I started back to the library.
Mhm.
So it was just, it came at the right time for me.
Yeah. You know, speaking of nursing homes, that's what I did before I joined the military. I um, I got training as an orderly, and one of the first places I worked at was, what was it called? Oklahoma Christian Nursing Home or something like that in Edmond, Oklahoma. And the issue of nursing homes and growing older recently came up on the channel because of a reaction I did, and I'm trying to remember which one it was, Nicole.
Oh, the John Prine one.
That's right.
John Prine one.
That's, I mean,
Yeah.
so it brought those memories back just so vividly for me about, my experiences in nursing homes and with elderly folk and, just being around those people I worked in nursing homes for probably 3 years.
You have to be a special person to work in a nursing home.
Oh, you have to be.
And I
because-
have